Welcome to your second week of LEAD 101 and your first official course video. The layout for all 6 course videos will be the same in terms of consistency and ease of understanding so that you're clear regarding expectations. This is the first of the 6 course videos. Last week's introductory video is not included in the count, so this is one of 6. Before I launch into this week's discussion topic, I'd like to review with you the information that I was able to gather from your first week's posts. Generally, posts were very good, and I really enjoyed reading them and learning a little bit about each of you. I look forward to see what conversations develop as we progress through the week. Remember that you are expected to reply to peers' posts and to anyone who replies to your post by this coming Friday at midnight. That's important to remember. And that is in addition to your response to the prompt, which we will discuss shortly regarding the Americas in your week 1 assignment, or excuse me, week 2 assignment. So as you can see here, I have broad topical areas identified. You've been assigned a country, and team members are listed here. So the first topic is animal rights. The country of focus will be Iran, and the team members are Christina, Andrea, Johnny, Sydney, and Summer. Second topic is environment. Country of focus is Indonesia. Turner, Lily, Brian, Connor, and Sam will work together on this topic. Criminal justice reform will be focused on Rwanda. Sarah, Zach, Kevin, and Bill will work together on this. Undernutrition or malnutrition in Bangladesh will be the focus of Amanda, Jody, Anna, and Tyler's project. Education access will be a focus on Niger, and Jennifer, Courtney, Camille, and Haley will work together on this topic. Healthcare access with a specific focus on substance abuse treatment in China will be the focus of Brianna, Aaron, and Megan. And human rights will be focused on issues related to the country of Tunisia, and Carlos, Elaine, and Brandy will work on that together. There are still 6 students, Eric, Emily, Kyle, Zach, Robert, and John, that need to be assigned to a topic. This may mean that a new topical area will be added to the list, or that there will be additions to your group. I don't want groups to be any larger than 5 students, and I am giving everyone the opportunity to email me and let me know if you happen to want to change to a different group and focus on a different topic. Please don't change your group based on a friend that you'd like to work with. I really think it's important for everyone to focus on a topic that they're most passionate about. And it's great to meet new people. This is a good opportunity to do that. I will get the finalized list out, and I will post that as an announcement as early as possible in week 2. So I ask those of you who either want to change topics or have not yet been assigned a topic to please email me by midnight tomorrow, Monday, June 12th. So week 2, Monday, June 12th through Friday, June 16th. Obviously, you have some flexibility in terms of how you want to pace yourself in terms of the required reading assignments. I only write these days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as suggested targets. If you're not available to do things until Thursday, that's certainly within your purview and right to make that decision. But generally, I would like to see you watch this video that you're listening to and watching right now, Monday, as well as reading the introduction and chapters 1 of 2 of your Kessler text. By Wednesday, you should have read all of the chapters up through chapter 5 in Kessler. And for Friday, your weekly exercise on the Americas will be expected, as well as responses to all of your peers' introductory bios by midnight. So please remember that you have a second assignment due by midnight on June 16th, which is Friday, and you will need to respond to peers' posts. So have that discussion regarding the bios that were already posted. So in some ways you're working in 2 weeks topical areas at the same time. You're responding to last week's while you're also prepping your response for this week, and that will be the same format as we move forward together. It will likely come as no surprise to you that we are currently in the era of social responsibility. Much of what I want to talk about today is directly taken from the book Do Good Well. I have a picture of the actual book captured here. This is also one of the suggested textbooks that I've listed for you to consider using as we progress through the semester together. There's a website associated with the text, which is dogoodwell.org. So in terms of social responsibility, we talk about an end goal of social progress. And this is truly progress. It's not about perfecting a problem or addressing a problem completely and eliminating it from existence. While that might be nice, that's a utopia that often is not achievable. So what we really want you to focus on are small wins, things that you can do as an individual or in small groups that make a difference every day. The aggregate of these small changes will equal significant social impact over time. So you may be asking yourself, okay, so now what? The first step is to know yourself. And this is a process that we explore in great detail throughout the organizational and community leadership major curriculum. We really want for all of our students to understand who they are, what matters to them, and what impact they want to have on the world. Because if you are able to harness what is true to yourself, you're better able to embrace the challenges that you'll likely face. So whether you've taken a leadership course before or this is the first leadership course you've taken, there are some things that you can do to really figure out who you are, get to know yourself. So one of my first suggestions might be that you make a table with one being the first column being descriptors and the second column being overlap and the third column being a friend's descriptors of me. So one of the best ways to get feedback about yourself is to ask someone who knows you well. So let's think about what 10 self-descriptors you would apply to yourself and list those in the first column. Then go to a close friend or family member and ask them to identify 10 descriptors that they think are most representative of you. So it might be caring, intelligent, honest, hardworking, funny. These are all characteristics or descriptors. So once you look at your list of 10 and your friend or family member's list of 10, that middle column is there to identify overlap. So did you describe yourself as humorous and your friend or family member identify you as humorous as well? Did you note that you're serious and others said that you are silly? These are things that you want to look at because often how we see ourselves and how the world sees us are very different. And it's important to get these differences under control or well understood as you progress in life. So next you might want to ask yourself, what do you care about? In part, your bio was a start at these first 2 steps. Tell us a little bit about who you are. We didn't get into any specific details or share any deep, dark secrets, but you shared a little bit about who you are. I could tell by some of your introductions that you were interested, enthusiastic, and ready to share and delve into the material, where others were a bit more timid or less willing to share about themselves. These are fine individual differences that are a reality, but the hope is that regardless of where you stand in terms of what you were willing to share on day one, you're all familiar with yourselves and you truly know who you are. And then you know the world around you. So that was the idea behind asking you to identify some social issues that you think are really important to address. Often we're able to identify what we care most about by really asking ourselves that very question, what am I grateful for? When I really think about what am I grateful for, I look around and I see my family, my husband, my dog, my home, my belly that's well fed. I'm cool in the summers and warm in the winters. These are things that I'm grateful for, and I realize that they are things that not everyone has the pleasure of enjoying, and it truly is a privilege to have the things that I care about and that matter to me. And then I think, wow, there are so many more people who don't have these things, and that matters. You can go on to ask yourself, what do you value? Do you value diversity? People of different faiths challenge you to explore your own beliefs, perhaps. And without diversity, what might those consequences be? So I value what? Why do I value it? And without it, what might the consequence be? These are your 3 columns for consideration in order to address what do I value. And then what affects you emotionally? Something that affects me emotionally, I have a very visceral response to, is animal abuse. That's a social issue that I feel passionately about. The emotion that it most elicits is anger, hurt, confusion. There's some other particular emotions associated with it. And what are the triggers? Things like a news story that talks about an incident of animal abuse, perhaps seeing an emaciated dog on the street, or learning of a litter of homeless kittens that have been abandoned somewhere. And these are things that I have a visceral response to. So in this particular exercise, I might have a column that says the incident, the emotion, and then the triggers. And I walk through some of those particulars. List the people that you admire. So in column 1, say the person you admire. In the second column, what qualities of that individual make you admire him or her? And then what are the specific actions that these individuals take that inspire you in terms of your admiration? Finally, consider your strengths and weaknesses. Make a list. Things that you're really good at, things you excel at, and then things you'd like to see yourself get a bit better at. So the next step is getting to know your world and recognizing that the world's problems are interconnected. So you saw at the beginning of the slides that I wanted you to see what other individuals were most passionate about and wanted to really study this semester together as a class, and look at those different topical areas, but recognize that it's a web of interconnectedness, just like our world. You've already identified a problem that you'd most like to spend your time working on this semester. Obviously, I did say at the beginning, excuse me, of this video that you are, excuse me, certainly able to change your mind in terms of the topic that you'll study. So please know that that is an option for you. But I've already asked you to identify a problem that you might feel passionate about. And this week, what I'm going to ask you to do is really further your understanding of the problem to which you've been assigned. You don't yet have to delve into the country that you've been assigned, but I do want you to look at the problem from the global perspective. I have the next few slides, which I will click through, will show you the individual exercises that I suggest you work on for your own personal growth and to help you know yourself. So I'm going to flip through these rather quickly since I just discussed them, but this is the Who Am I chart, the For What Am I Grateful chart, What Do I Value, Who Affects Me Emotionally, Who Do I Admire, and my strengths and weaknesses.